Is Festival of the Lost worth your time this year? In my opinion, this is the best Festival of the Lost has been in a very, and I mean a very long time. Nah, Cross, you're just saying that because the new Memento. But fellas, have you seen it? Look at it! We tried this on so many different weapons, from Beloved to Drain to Forbearance, Disparity, Succession, and a number of others, guys. And I don't know what it is about this Memento, but it is so clean. And right now during this event, this is the one and only time that you will be able to obtain this Memento. Today though, we're going to be bringing you a complete guide on how Festival of the Lost works in 2023, how to complete the quest lines, and basically how to farm everything, as well as the quests associated with the Memento. Now, there is definitely similarities here between past Festival of the Lost events, but there are some key differences this time around. Haunted sectors are back this year as our main activity. There's even a legendary version this time around that has matchmaking, so let's get into it. Now, upon loading into the game, you'll be met with a banner that welcomes you to Festival of the Lost 2023. Here you'll get a preview of the new grenade launcher, some of the new masks, the brand new fan-voted armor sets for this year, and a preview of the haunted sector's activity. Next, you'll need to make your way to the tower and talk to Space Grandma Eva Levante, and upon talking to Eva, she will give you the quest Classic Carving, which is a pretty straightforward quest that essentially introduces you to the main gameplay loop of Festival of the Lost. Now, upon claiming the quest, you'll then need to claim your mask from Eva called the Masquerader's Cowl, and equip this mask to complete steps 1 and 2 of this quest. Next up, you'll need to claim Spectral Pages from Eva, who will give you 3 to start out with. Now, this is one of the 2 currencies for this event alongside candy. In just a little bit, we're gonna go over the best method to farm both Spectral Pages and candy. Now, step 4, you'll need to enter your first haunted sector and complete a summoning ritual. Now, these are the objectives you'll see on your screen, essentially just capturing a zone. And upon capturing the summoning ritual, this will spawn a headless one, which will then complete step 4. Step 5 of the quest will ask you to turn Spectral Pages into manifested pages by defeating headless ones and then completing the haunted sector. Now, for this first one, you really only need to worry about killing 3 headless ones, as that's how many pages you have. But as you play and you earn more pages, more of these Spectral Pages that is, you want to kill as many of these headless as you can, pretty much all the way to the max of 10 before you actually spawn in the boss, and even the headless ones after that, so that you can get that 1-to-1 conversion. Again, you're converting Spectral Pages into manifested pages here. And again, we're gonna get into more on that in just a second. Now, as far as doing this activity, these haunted sectors in the most efficient manner possible, capturing these zones are gonna be your main priority. The more people you have on each one of these zones, the faster it actually captures. And upon capturing it, you will then spawn in a headless one. Once you kill the headless one, another zone will pop up and you'll proceed to cap it. What I've been seeing from a lot of people here, guys, is that there are a lot of blueberries that are not actively going for the captures, which is pretty ironic because PvE players always say PvP players don't play OBJ, and they're literally not playing OBJ here. Now, the more headless ones you slay, the better. You get better rewards, you get more manifested pages in your conversion if you have a lot of Spectral Pages, and also the faster you get done here. Now, upon actually getting 10 headless ones slain, a boss will actually spawn in, but this boss will have, on all these lost sectors, immunity phases. And what's going to be required during those immunity phases, when you reach 1/3 of its health and 2/3 of its health, you will actually have to kill more headless ones. Now, the headless ones that actually spawn in here do seem to be a little more thicker, but when they spawn and you kill them, they will drop these pumpkins. You pick up these pumpkins and you throw them at the boss to break that immunity shield. And I think there's like 3 of these pumpkin charges to break that immunity shield, and then you can continue doing damage to the boss. Now, of course, this changes up from lost sector to lost sector, and again, it seems like the rotation is going to rotate between all 4 of these lost sectors every single day. So if you're still trying to do that quest, that of course requires you to get all 4 of these lost sector duns in their higher difficulty. Don't stress, guys. Whatever haunted sector you're missing, it'll be back in rotation. But after completing your first haunted sector, you return to the tower and speak with Eva Levante, who will then say to unlock pages from Tales of the Forgotten, Volume 3, by using those manifested pages. Now go to the Book of the Forgotten, which is next to Eva, and unlock a shrouded page by trading your manifested pages. You'll then need to go speak to Eva again, who will say to claim your first event challenge in the event card, which is accessible from Eva or in the quest section of the directory. Now, after doing this, you'll need to speak to Eva again, where the quest will now complete and award you with the new grenade launcher, a Cosmic. I don't know about everybody else, but our roll was poopy. But it's the new GL. We're going to be reviewing it this week. But after claiming that reward, Eva will give you a new quest called Sophisticated Sculpting, which tasks you with completing all higher difficulty haunted sectors. Now, this is the new activity of this event, and it is more difficult than the base version of these haunted sectors. And if you don't have the right build, guys, it will mess you up. I'm rocking this Titan build right here, and I'm not trying to say that you should be a Titan main, but it pretty much handles all this with ease. You need to have a minimum effective power level of 1815. You need to be able to deal with champions, but you do have overcharged weapons, surges, which also rotate, and other modifiers. Now, there's gonna be 4 haunted sectors that seems to rotate like every 3-4 hours or something like that, but one was on the moon, one is on Nessus, another in the EDZ, and another in Europa. Now, one thing to note is that if you do the activity, but you do not have any spectral pages, it will not count towards this quest. Not sure if this is affecting everybody, but we did have people saying that they were not able to progress, and it turns out it's because they did not have spectral pages. Luckily though, you can get spectral pages from a variety of things, whether that's multiple activities. We're gonna get into a farm method in just a moment, but there is a number of sources that drop spectral pages. Now, when comparing base haunted sector versus these legend haunted sectors, which one is better? In my opinion, I think legend is better because you have a much higher chance, if not a guaranteed chance, of getting these Eerie Engrams, which are extremely valuable during this event as they give you a chance at all of these different rewards. But once you unlock the memento, there's supposed to be a random chance that the memento actually can drop from these Eerie Engrams. Still waiting to get verification on that. You can also use these Eerie Engrams to focus exotic loot and the weapons themselves. But back to spectral pages. What is the best method to farm spectral pages? By far the best farm, like if you're looking to just get spectral pages in the most efficient manner possible, is to checkpoint swap the Lightfall campaign mission First Contact. It's a relatively easy mission, guys. This is gonna take you all of 60 seconds when you start actually jumping back and forth with this checkpoint, but essentially it's all the way up to the section after the Tormentor. You want to keep the checkpoint here on one of your characters and trade it off to a friend, and then join back on your other character with the mask on, by the way, because you need to have your mask on pretty much at all times to be getting candy and spectral pages and everything else. But join back and then finish the mission out, and then jump back to your character that has the checkpoints. Now keep in mind, guys, you don't have to do this. Yes, it's very fast. I'm roughly getting 9 spectral pages every minute, which is by far the most efficient farm in the game. Keep in mind though, this is a 3-week grind. You don't have to do all of this today. But if you are looking to do this today, we do have people within our Discord that are probably going to be actively doing this. So feel free to come by and check out our LFGs. But this is also something you could just do with your friend. Now, as far as I know, you cannot trade the checkpoints after the Tormentor. This is something that you're actually going to have to play on a character and come all the way up to this point, keep the checkpoint, and then trade it off to one of your other characters via a friend holding the checkpoint for you. But again, guys, if you're not in a big rush to get these pages, which you honestly shouldn't be, to me, it's like candy, Eerie Engrams. Those are pretty much the things I'm going to be constantly going for. Pages are just a nice addition, but these are actually the drop rates for pages across the game. GMs, 7 pages. PvP is 3 pages. Strikes are 4 pages. Gambit is 3 pages. Hero Nightfalls is 5 pages. Story missions, that being this mission that we're doing here in front of you, 9 pages. Dares of Eternity, 5 pages. And a normal lost sector, 1 page. Now this takes us to the resource that you're going to really be going after pretty much the entire event, and that's candy. Since you'll need this currency for focusing weapons and armor, and you're going to need a lot of it, this is going to be the resource you're going to be going for the most. Weapons require 1,000 candy plus 1 Eerie Engram. Exotic armor requires 2,500 candy and 1 Eerie Engram. Now, an easy way to just give yourself candy right out the gate is just jumping on top of these trees at the tower. You actually have a tree right here next to Evil Levante, and there's a number of spots that has a good wad of candy just waiting to be picked up. There's also a tree next to Ikora that you can go over and pick up candy on as well. But as far as the best activities for candy drops, it actually doesn't scale well. Again, the way candy works, it's all about time commitments and what you get out of it. Also, just farming ads over and over isn't really the best option either. We tried Grasp of Avarice and just killing ads, but it just wasn't that efficient. You can also do Shurichi, the Breakneck mission, but to be quite frank with you guys, everything here is really pushing you to do activities, which includes things like Nightfalls, Crucible, Gambit, public events, heroic public events. But doing things like story missions didn't even net us any candy when we did, outside of the ads we killed during that activity. Again, I gotta remind everybody, always be wearing your mask. But these are the drop rates across the board. And And I know you're looking at Nightfalls and Strikes, you're like, yo, that looks really good. And you're like, but public events is only like 210. Keep in mind, guys, you could do public events so much faster. Granted, I'm not saying you should go out there and do thousands of public events, but if you're looking to just get a bunch of candy really fast, dude, just hop back and forth from public event to public event, heroic them if you want. Base public events give you 180, heroic gives you 210, complete 5 of them, and now you have the ability to focus a weapon. Now, the final way to earn candy is by completing Festival of the Lost bounties. Weeklies give you 250 candy, repeatables give you 30. Granted, guys, this is a 3-week long grind. This is not something you need to knock out right now. Don't burn yourself out trying to get as much candy as you can. Play the game as you would normally, and you'll be collecting candy along the way. Now, lastly, and probably the most asked question we had today, how do we get the brand new all-black Memento? Now, this is going to be tied to a triumph called Twilight, which can be found under your Season the Witch triumphs. Now, initially, it does not tell you what to do. It just has question marks with question marks out of 125. Now, these challenges are all pretty cool. One of them will require you to actually put on the Nimbus mask, which you earn by completing the event challenge Hocus Focusing, which asks you to focus just one Eerie Engram. You'll then need to get 100 kills on Neomuna with the Nimbus mask equipped. You can do this by just jumping into a public event there, a lost sector, or even a story mission. Now, the second Triumph challenge will require you to have the Tormentor's mask. This mask can be earned by completing the event card challenge, Heads Will Roll, where you need to defeat 100 headless ones. So again, lots of haunted and lost sectors here. But upon finishing that, equip the mask, and you'll need to perform 25 finishers inside of a haunted sector to complete the Triumph challenge. Now, I'm being told that you need to do it inside of a Legend haunted sector, but somebody confirm down below if that's true or not. We were pretty much doing nothing but Legend haunted sectors, so other people were also saying that it only works for Legend, but feel free to let us know in the comments below if it works for you. Now, Triumph Challenge 3, which is actually the first one and the one that had us the most confused, but someone actually cracked the code, and it's stupid simple. Essentially, guys, equip the Clovis mask, which is the very first mask you get, and simply do the Fallen Saber Strike, and that's it, guys. Just load them into the strike from the director, knock it out, and you will now complete this triumph. And Lost Memento is now yours. Now, how is the drop rates gonna work for Lost Memento? That's a good question. I actually applied it to my disparity. Considering aggressive pulse rifles just got a buff, we're gonna be re-reviewing pulses here soon, alongside everything else for the sandbox. But we were told in the TWAB that this Memento should be dropping from Eerie Engrams. Now, you can either focus these Eerie Engrams, of course, or you can turn it in randomly. I turned one of mine in randomly, and I got 5 enhancement cores, which was, in my opinion, an absolute waste. So I proceeded to focus them for a weapon in hopes of getting at least a good horror story. Now, in the 3 Engrams that I turned in, I got no Lost Memento. So I'm not sure what the drop rate is. But again, based on what Bungie has told us, it is supposed to be dropping randomly. This is not a one-time use only, and that's it, and you only get it on one weapon. That sounds absolutely terrible if it is. But considering that this is a time-limited event, we are supposed to have the ability to farm this Memento and get as many as we can before it's gone for good. So guys, that is your Festival of the Lost event this year. Again, the Pulse Rifle, Jurassic Green, Macabra is also going to be dropping. A Cosmic Grenade Launcher is dropping, and Horror Story. Some solid weapons, guys, with some solid rolls. We're going to be reviewing them this week. Now, for those wondering, should I be purchasing the event card? Well, these are the cosmetics that are actually tied to the event card. If you absolutely want them, which no lie, that ghost with the bow on top, I want it. But do I want it enough to drop the silver on this event card? And the answer to that is probably no. However, to each their own. So if you want this, yes, you can get this behind the event card. Now, for the armor sets, you can either buy the armor sets outright via silver, or you can buy it with Bright Dust. These are the prices for both of them, guys. They also have other bundled items in the Eververse store if you missed previous armor sets from Festival of the Lost. So guys, that's it. That's Festival of the Lost 2023. If there's anything we've missed, feel free to let us know in the comments down below. We'll also be streaming all week on Twitch, so come on by, guys. We've got a lot of sandbox testing to do, so come join us. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.